This is the Sixth Man Show, an Orlando Magic podcast, with your hosts, Kevin Tucker and Jonathan Osborne, covering all things Magic basketball. By fans, for fans. Go Magic!
What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? You guys are back with the Sixth Man Show. Today is October 20th, 2025. Jonathan Osborne here, as always, joined by my co-host, Kevin Tucker. Kevin, we are 2 days away from the regular season. How are we doing?
I'm so excited. I am just so excited that Magic basketball is back this week, and not just like any Magic basketball. Like, we're always excited at the start of a new season, but this season just feels different, feels special. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. Cannot wait for Wednesday. I hope it's as fun as I think it's going to be. But yeah, I'm super pumped, man. How are you?
I looked for a paper bag to put over my head before recording this episode after what happened to my New York Giants today.
Yeah.
So I'm just at the point that after the way the Yankees season ended, the way the Giants season looked like it had a little bit of life, and then after a just disastrous collapse like that, that's genuinely the type of loss that can further derail an already screwed up season.
Yep.
So I just need Magic basketball to be here, and I need them to be very good.
Yes.
That's kind of where I'm at.
As a Florida State fan, I agree. Please be good, Orlando Magic
football
basketball.
Sucks, man. So
football's
stupid.
the worst sport. That's why I'm just ready for basketball. I mean, even Tuesday night, like Rockets in OKC, Kevin Durant coming to OKC while OKC lifts the banner on NBA on NBC. Are you kidding me? Way better than football. Sign me up. Can't wait.
Spicy. Well, folks, this episode is brought to you by some very special folks. Eric Rivario, Brynjar Halderson, Magic Wired, Caleb Peak, Gabe Gaines, and Nikki Nunu. These are some of our Hall of Fame and Elite tier patrons. These are the folks that help make each and every episode possible. Whenever we have a new patron, we give them a special shout out. And this week, it is Eric Rivario joining the Elite tier. Really appreciate that. And then like we did before, we give special shout outs to some of our Hall of Fame and Elite tier patrons. If you like what we do, you want to help continue the mission here, head on over to patreon.com/the Sixth Man Show and choose whatever tier is best for you. Kevin, Wednesday will be the first official post-game live of the year, starting with the regular season. And this season, we do have a new sponsor of the post-game live. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're very excited this year to be partnering with Mark Abraham of Thrivent. Mark Abraham, is a financial advisor, but more importantly, a die-hard Orlando Magic fan, season ticket holder. I believe he said he sits in section 118, if I remember correctly. And so, but we're super pumped we partner with him. Again, we love partnering with brands that love the Magic, and Mark is no exception. And one thing I just want to share about Mark, he shared this with us. Some people, when they hear financial advisor, they think like you got to be in a certain tax bracket or something like to have one of those. But what Mark really prides himself on is working with everybody. Like, doesn't matter if you have this gigantic net worth or you're a young person just starting out. Maybe you're just starting your first savings account or something like that. He said he'll always do complimentary, kind of calls to talk through maybe a financial situation with you. And so I don't think you have to have a bunch of money to meet with a financial advisor. It's always a great time to start, to be wise with your money. And we're really excited that Mark Abraham is going to offer that to a lot of Magic fans as well. So yeah, Thrivent, Mark Abraham, sponsoring the Sixth Man Show post-game live this season, and we're super excited for it. I know you've gotten to meet Mark in person, right?
I was just going to say, I've only had the privilege of talking with Mark, a few times, and have only really known him for a short while, but it's just evident that the dude just has such a great heart. Like, genuinely, he and his family, amazing people, heart of gold, and really just wants to help people. Like, that's why he really does what he does, and he's super passionate about that, and he's super passionate about the Magic. Like,
yeah,
he is just as much of a Magic maniac as there is out there. Like, has lived in Orlando his whole life, like grew up Shaq and Penny days, and has stayed
UCF grad as well.
True blue, like die-hard Orlando Magic fan, and really appreciative to be getting to know him and having his and the Thrivent team support this season. And yeah, I think it's going to be great for you also if that is something which we all need some help with at times.
Yeah.
I hope that you all will reach out to Mark and take advantage of his services because just really, really great dude and pumped to be partnering with him and thriving.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, diehard Magic fan. So he even said like, hey, if you see me in section 118, come stop by, come say hey. But yeah, you can. We'll leave his information down in the description if you want to get a hold of him, and then obviously his information will be available in all of the post game lives this season. But yeah, we're pumped to have Mark Abraham join us in that.
And I got to see Mark and meet his family Thursday when I went to the game when the Magic played the Pelicans and completed their preseason sweep with a 132-125 win over the Pelicans. Magic got out to a pretty, commanding lead in that first half, and Pelicans really started the third, pretty hot out of the gate, closed the gap, and Magic were able to hang on and eventually get the victory in this one. Starters look pretty good. We'll talk about that. Before we talk too much about the game, Kevin, I just want to talk a little bit about like the in-game experience. We will talk about the PA announcer at this game, but this was my first time, Kevin, seeing the new massive video board, seeing the new boards all around the arena, hearing like the upgraded, sound system. And at times, Kevin, it genuinely doesn't feel like the same building. Like it seems kind of silly to say that, but maybe it's just because I've been so accustomed over the years, like looking up and, depending on where you're sitting, like it's just a like flat board, like right in front of you. And I've gotten accustomed, like looking to see where, stats and, how many does Paolo have? What are we shooting from three as a team? And it's new. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just kind of looking around trying to find all that stuff. And like, obviously it's an upgrade, so the like fidelity and the clarity is so much improved. Like it's crystal clear. It almost doesn't look like you're looking at a screen. I don't really know how to explain it, but it looks that good. And it once they get the sound right and they get the PA right, however that's going to work itself out, it's genuinely going to be like an awesome part of the experience having that new video board and all the new video boards all over the place. So I'm excited for you to see it on Wednesday and to get your thoughts and see how you feel about it. But I was pretty blown away by that on Thursday.
Me too. I cannot wait to see that on Wednesday. Obviously excited to see the team, but that's another thing I'm very excited to see. Not just that, but you add in the court, and obviously they'll be wearing a new jersey. And honestly, while we talk about this next thing, I do need to check Locker Vision and see if they've updated. Probably not.
True.
But regardless, I'll see a new jersey, whatever it is. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to see that on Wednesday. And no, they have not updated, of course.
Of course not.
Of course.
Well, I did get to hear the PA announcer this second game. And as we've talked about, basically what the Magic were doing is that they had kind of like two auditions the last couple of preseason games against the Heat and then against the Pelicans. We heard kind of mixed reviews from, I guess, last Sunday's game against the Heat. Some people really liked the PA announcer's energy. Some people thought maybe it was like a little bit too much. When I got to the game on Thursday and I heard the PA announcer, going through like their pregame, kind of things that they go through before the starting five, I was like, wow, like I really like the sound of his voice, very clear, like enunciating everything. And like, I don't really have the other PA announcer to compare. So I'm not personally comparing. But then once the starting lineup started and like throughout the game, I do think I agreed with some people that there could have maybe been a bit more energy. It did feel like there was something lacking there. And then talking with other people who heard both said, one guy was like way up here. The other guy, it kind of felt like he could have brought up the energy just a little bit. We, as of right now, don't know who the new PA announcer is going to be. I'm hoping and would assume that whoever they pick, they'll probably have some notes for like, hey, we want you to pick it up a little bit or want you to tone it down. And also, this is something, it's a role that they're going to grow in, right? Like what we hear game 1 probably won't be what we hear game 41.
Right.
And they're going to find their own way, find things that work, find things that the crowd really appreciates. And it's going to be like an evolving thing. So when you hear that the team went with one guy or another, don't just be like, oh my gosh, I don't like this guy because of this or because of that. Like, let's give it a little bit of time, right? And you're not always going to get a Paul Porter who is the PA announcer for 36 years, right? Like, whoever is the next guy probably won't be around for 36 years. It's I don't want to say pretty unprecedented, but it's not that common for a dude to be in the role as long as Paul Porter was. So,
yeah.
What did you think, Kev, listening to the broadcast from home Thursday?
Well, I think it's very clear between both of the candidates. The Magic are not going for another Paul Porter, like in the sense of style, right? Both guys totally different than Paul Porter, which makes sense. Paul Porter, a different generation, more traditional might be the wrong word, but it's just kind of that style of that generation. So you can definitely tell they're going a different direction. But both guys had their own spin on it. And yeah, I think the assessments are fair that one might have been too much, one might have been not enough. And so if the Magic believe that one of them can meet in the middle somewhere, they're gonna pick that guy. And so, but like you said, regardless, I hope Magic fans, give the person a chance. And I don't mean like a game. Like you said, it takes time. Like the stuff that Paul Porter became famous for and very good at and all that kind of stuff, I guarantee you he didn't have all that game one. It takes time, like to bring in all that, the different, bag of tricks essentially in that role, the different things, when to say certain things, how to say certain things. It takes time. And so, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see who they pick, and they'll have my support for sure while they continue to find their way in this new role.
Now, one thing we didn't get Thursday was stand and cheer. And there are people that, honestly, I don't remember. I've been to, I want to say like 3 or 4 preseason games over the course of the last, 4 or 5 seasons. I don't like vividly remember them doing stand and cheer during preseason games. So maybe they just don't ever do that. That is a possibility. But Wednesday, we have to have it. That's
if not, we're doing our own.
Literally, we might
just
have
the two of us amongst the 19,000. I'll say it, and you just join me. All right.
Oh, I'll scream at the top of my lungs.
Great, perfect. Can't wait.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's talk more about this game again. Magic got off to a pretty hot start in this one. Led at the half, 61-54, and then Pelicans start to come back a little bit in that third quarter, and Magic were able to hold them off throughout the second half on their way to the 132-125 win. We did get some of the end of the bench guys in, really only the last few minutes. This was by far the most that we saw out of the starters, and a lot of the guys in the second unit kind of playing in the roles that we expect them to when the regular season starts. And it did mirror more of a bench rotation. Jonathan Isaac, last couple of games of the preseason, first guy in off the bench. Thought that was pretty notable. And then again, Jet Howard, coming in off the bench pretty early on. I don't really know what to make of that, because it does seem like, especially when Jalen Suggs is healthy, I just have a hard time believing they're going to play like 10 guys deep at the beginning of the season, especially, if you have Jalen, you have Paolo, you have Franz, you have Desmond. Would think that we're going to see those guys stagger, but the thing is, in this game even, we didn't see a lot of the starters being staggered. We saw Franz Wagner come out of the game first, and then Paolo Banchero and Desmond Bane coming out of the game at the same time. A bench unit with none of the starters for, a 2-3 minute stretch there. Then Franz coming back in, and then Paolo and Desmond coming in a little bit later. So Franz did play some minutes with the bench unit, but it just feels like there shouldn't ever be a stretch without at least one of those guys on the floor. Like, I don't understand why Desmond and Paolo are coming off of the floor together, especially if, Franz or one of those other guys isn't out there. I know we're going to talk all the big picture stuff and kind of takeaways from the preseason, but in terms of like the rotation and the minutes, I think that was what I was looking for the most in this one, because we've got some performance stuff that we can build off of from the other 3 preseason games. But going into this one, I was like, okay, how is all of this going to work? And I came away from it like, I don't know that this is exactly what it will look like in the regular season. And if it does, I don't really like that. I don't love that so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, that is something we've talked about quite a bit this summer. And I definitely agree. I wonder how Jalen's I can't talk. Jalen would impact that if and when he's healthy. Like, does that change, how they kind of rotate some of those guys? But yeah, I honestly, I know we didn't see it in preseason, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's still what ends up happening. Like if that is something that we see starting day one in the regular season, that one of those guys is going to be on the floor at all times. But the other thing is, I do find it funny, not wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it is funny that, we're sitting here 4-0 preseason, beat everybody handedly, and we've still got things to pick apart. But that's because we got high expectations. We know we have a high ceiling, but yeah, I definitely agree that was definitely unique. But I don't think it's going to be like that in the regular season. I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, it's just, I know we talked about this on the last episode, but it's like, you think that you would want to utilize some of these opportunities to see guys play in those groups against other teams. But you and I talked briefly before we started to record tonight that we don't want to sit here and like pick apart and nitpick all this stuff because one, yeah, you went 4-0.
Yeah.
But even if you went 0-4 wouldn't feel great. But even if you went 1-3 or 2-2 or whatever, it's just the preseason. Like, preseason is not always typically not a great indicator or like an end all be all of like, hey, this team is going to be good because like, well, Jamal Mosey's first year, we thought there's no way they're going to play Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. together. But lo and behold, they did do that for quite a while. So,
yeah.
But from this game specifically, Franz Wagner, fantastic. 24 points in 25 minutes, 8 of 14 from the floor, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, and 1 was from deep. There was a step back that he had. He had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Paolo, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 6 of 11 from the floor, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. Wendell, another great game, 14.7 rebounds. Desmond Bane, 11 points, 3 of 9. 1 rebound, 2 assists, was moving the ball really well. I know other people pointed that out, but for me, this might have been like the story of the night. Jonathan Isaac, in not even 13 minutes, 13 points, 6 of 7 from the floor, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. By far and away, the best Jonathan Isaac performance that we got of the preseason. And then Anthony Black, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, was 3 of 7 from the floor. Started like really strong in the beginning of this game and then kind of tailed off as the game went. But those were just a few of the performances that stuck out to me, Kev. What did you think? Anything that you took away from this one?
Well, I mean, you mentioned the 3 of 6 from 3 for Franz. I mean, anytime that happens, it's going to get people's attention. Yeah, outside of that, I don't really have any other specific ones from this game. Although I will say, highlight of the preseason came in this game for me. The hustle play by Jace Richardson getting on the loose ball and then nutmegging. I already forgot who it was. Whatever that big dude for New Orleans. Nutmegged him. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But Dickinson, Hunter Dickinson. Nutmegged him.
By the way, dude, like, just doesn't look like an NBA guy out there running around.
Not at all.
Like, he might have a good career, but him just running around, I'm like, bro, you do not belong out there.
Yeah, he has that like really ugly and flat, like little push hook type thing. He did that like 17 times. Yeah. By the way, ridiculous for me to clown on a guy who's out there on an NBA floor, twice as tall as me, getting buckets on NBA basketball players. Really stupid. But anyway, that was really fun. No, I didn't really have too much else from this game in particular. I did have some really important stats, though, on the preseason as a whole. Okay, Jonathan. Your Orlando Magic go 4-0 in preseason. That's great. Your Orlando Magic finish as the top of the NBA in preseason. Only one of only 3 teams to go undefeated. And the other 2 teams didn't play NBA teams, only NBA teams, right? One of them played a team from China. One of them played the Utah Jazz. And so those 2 teams, that was a good joke. Thank you. Anyway, 4-0 for the Magic. But also, here's the big thing. led the league in point differential, except for San Antonio. But again, they played the team from China. 15.2 points per game was the average margin of victory. They scored 126.5 points per game and gave up 111. Now, the 126.5 is crazy. The 111 is almost as crazy. If you think about this team, the past couple seasons giving up 111 points. Again, it's preseason. It's a totally different version of basketball, especially in the second half. But it's still interesting, and it's still the best in the league. And again, that's a championship no one can take away from us. We are the 2025 NBA preseason champions. And so that's a big deal.
Second in offensive rating in the league with an
Wild.
offensive rating of 122.2, which is bonkers.
Yep.
Finished only behind the Houston Rockets, which, again, as you mentioned, didn't play exclusively NBA teams. The Magic did finish 13th in defensive rating, which
that was the joke.
love.
The Rockets did play NBA teams. I was joking about them because I said they played the Jazz, but yes, the Spurs are the ones who played the team from China. Yeah,
pretty close.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they might be playing in Salt Lake, China, for all we know.
Okay, yeah.
This time next year. Yeah. This episode is brought to you by our newest partner, the Posit Group, your home team on and off the court. Not only are they partnering with us, but they're partnering with the Orlando Magic as well. Posit Group is the most followed real estate brand in Central Florida. They've helped over 2,500 families buy and sell here in Orlando. They're impacting lives through real estate. Posit Group agents outsell the competition by 5 times, and they're the top 1% of sales in the United States. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, be sure to visit them at posic.com. Follow them on social media as well. And when you contact them, let them know that the boys over at the Six Man Show sent you.
The Six Man Show is also brought to you by our friends over at Jam Hot Chicken. And hey, it's Monday, which means it's time for this week's Jam Hot Chicken Jam of the Week. And of course, it's going to be my favorite play from all of preseason. Thursday night against the Pelicans, late in the third quarter. There's a scramble for a rebound, but Jace Richardson with the hustle play gets on the ground, grabs the loose ball, and then nutmegs the defender to find Tristan da Silva for the two-handed throwdown. I love the hustle from Jace. I love the innovation, and it's a dunk by TDS, which makes it this week's Jam Hot Chicken Jam of the Week. But my favorite part of the play is look at the bench. The bench goes crazy for the hustle, for the creativity from Jace Richardson, and we go crazy for the hustle and creativity of Jam Hot Chicken because they're bringing jams, culture, and hot chicken to the heart of Winter Park and now to Winter Garden as well. Jam Hot Chicken is a Nashville and LA-inspired hot chicken shack, locally owned and operated, located at 400 West New England Avenue, Suite 13 in Hannibal Square in Winter Park, and at the Plant Street Market in Winter Garden. You can check out them on social media at Jam Hot Chicken. And you can use our code SIXTHMAN, that's SIXTHMAN, to get you 10% off your order at Jam Hot Chicken. You can use it if you're ordering ahead online on their website, or you can now use it in person. So if you go to see them at Winter Garden or at Winter Park, just tell the person at the register the code SIXTHMAN, and that'll get you 10% off your order. Big shout out to Jam Hot Chicken for sponsoring the show. And now let's get back to the episode.
I want to take a look at some preseason wide stats in terms of Franz Wagner shooting 36.4% from behind the arc. Now it's only 4 of 11 from the floor.
Yeah.
Small sample size. But at least he's making them, right? Like that's all we have to go off of right now.
Yeah.
Might not be a ton of them. He's got to continue to make them.
Yeah.
But him making them is better than him not making them.
Absolutely. And look, if he wants to go 2 for 4 from 3 every night, that's okay. I don't need him taking 9 threes a night. I don't. So I know we say it's a small number, and it is, but I don't need him taking a bunch of threes. But as long as he's shooting 35+%, even if it's on 3-4 attempts a night, I'm personally okay with that. Some people might disagree, but with how this team is structured and how Franz plays the game, I'm okay with that personally.
Kevin, the Magic also finished top 10 in 3-point percentage in all of preseason. They shot 35.9% from behind the arc. They finished 18th in 3-point makes per game at 12.8. I think we talked about them being around like 13 before the preseason started. So a little, they could, use to increase that a bit. And then in terms of 3-point attempts, they were 23rd. Now this does include like Melbourne United and Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix, and some of the other, international teams. So some of these stats are slightly skewed, but I do think it kind of gives you at least a decent representation of, hey, the Magic, for all the reasons we've been talking about all season long, but also this 4-game sample size of the preseason, the Magic should shoot the ball better than they did last year. How much better? That remains to be seen.
Now, I heard you mention the offensive rating. Do you have the defensive rating in front of you? I can pull it up if you don't, but I'm curious.
107.5. They were 13th in defensive rating.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Or third, in overall net rating. Only ahead of them were the Spurs and the Clippers, who did play international.
Yeah,
teams.
Those were the two teams that played. Yeah, that played Victor Oladipo. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Again, it's impossible to pull too much from this. Just the way that lineups are used. I mean, we just talked about it. The way that lineups are used in preseason, you can't really go all in. But it does make you feel better. Going 4-0 feels better than 0-4. And so I think it hopefully gives the guys a little bit of confidence, at least about the direction they're going. Because it's one thing if if you go into this preseason with a new offensive scheme and you add a couple new guys and all this kind of stuff, and you go out there and you just go 0-4, you may start to wonder, like, okay, is this whole new system going to work? Like, we were at least a winning basketball team before. And if you go out there and go 0-4, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. But at least through 4 games, hopefully the guys can have some confidence that they're on the right track with the offense. And and again, 4-0 certainly did not help with my excitement for the season. That's the other thing. I think most Magic fans are fired up now, even more than they were before the preseason.
Speaking to the new style of play, the Magic did finish 15th in pace. However, they were still 25th in turnover percentage. So you're playing at a higher pace, but with a high turnover percentage, you're still giving the other team a lot of extra possessions as well, which I don't love. And at this point, I do think that's going to continue to be a problem, just given the fact that these Jamal Mosley coached teams have been towards, the bottom third of the league in turnovers pretty much every year of his Magic tenure here. And I'm just not seeing that. I haven't seen anything from preseason that goes, oh, no, we're really going to be taking care of the ball. It just doesn't seem to be the case. Now, they were second in rebound percentage, so this should be a really good rebounding team. And then in terms of effective field goal percentage, 15th in the league. So it is leading to efficient offense. You just have to hope that the defense is good enough to counteract the turnovers. Like the extra possessions that you're going to be giving these teams, we have to make sure that this team is getting back and getting those stops so that they can get out in transition and continue to get opportunities. So I think we have a lot of positives to take away from the preseason. It's not hurting my excitement, but I don't think that I'm much more excited for the season than I was a couple of weeks ago before preseason started, only because my expectations have been so high. It's kind of hard for me right now for my expectations to get higher than where they are because, we're going to talk about our predictions, but not only do I think this team can, I expect them to win 50 plus games, to be the second or third team in the Eastern Conference, to win a playoff series, to sniff, if not make the Eastern Conference final. So it's how could my expectations be higher? Am I going to take simulation 620 and just expect us to win the finals? I can't not get myself to that point just yet. But
see, for me, the only reason I say that, number one, because you got to see the team. You actually got to see the team do the things that they said they were going to do this summer, right? So that helps. But the other thing for me, the stats we just listed, 4-0, best differential, good offense, good defense, all that stuff. And Desmond Bane played bad. Imagine
I think that's hampering my expectation, my excitement level.
Which is fair. But the flip side of that coin is, if and when Desmond Bane actually is able to lock in and knock down threes, that should change the game even more. And so that's why
Sure.
I'm like, if we did all that with poor offensive performances from Desmond Bane, what's it going to look like when we actually get him knocking down shots? And so I think that's where I'm coming from. But I do understand how the inverse of that can be true. You can see Desmond Bane struggle for 4 games ago. Oh boy, here we go again. I get that.
I'm not there. It's just like I really want to see Desmond. Like I bought the Desmond Bane statement jersey Thursday night, and then he wasn't bad, but it's just like he's missed. Like you see him in after practice shoot around, you see him in warmups, and he's making everything
smooth. By the way, so smooth.
and then you see him wide open in these games, and you're like, pull it, and he does, and it's just not going in yet.
Yeah,
but you and I talked about that. I think I called you on the way home Thursday. Like the team looks really good, and Desmond still hasn't had really like a good game.
Yeah.
So had he been like lighting up the preseason, the point differential would have been like 30.
Yeah.
Against these teams, and I would be at a different level. But what I do want to say is I'm seeing some people kind of be a little bit ridiculous about Desmond Bane. Like. Yeah. I understand the trauma, like fully, completely understand the post, Contavious traumatic stress.
Right. And Gary. I'd add Gary in there too.
Yeah. And Gary as well.
Yeah.
But Desmond Bane is like at each of those guys' 3 peaks, Desmond Bane is just so far and away the best basketball player of those 3.
Yeah.
He's going to figure it out. Like, does it feel great right now? No, but just stay patient. It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when.
Yep.
And when it happens, if all the other positives that we've seen so far in the preseason can carry over, that's when we're like, this team could make the finals.
And I'll also add, not saying he doesn't need to make threes. He needs to make threes. But if there are nights where he doesn't, which every shooter has nights where he struggles, the difference between Desmond Bane and Contavious Caldwell-Pope or Gary Harris is that Desmond Bane can still add offense to your team, even if he's not making threes. That's the difference. Like Desmond Bane is a multifaceted offensive player versus the other 2 guys who were, had one job. And so, I'm not worried about Desmond at all. I honestly, I think it could happen as soon as Wednesday. Wednesday goes off, starts the season with a bang, and then we're off to the races. And so, but we need to see it happen. We need to see it happen.
I'm stalling right now, so I'm trying to pull up a stat here. Okay. How many times did Contavious Caldwell-Pope last season not make a single 3? How many would you guess?
He played 76 games, 78 games, 76 games, something like that.
He played 77 games.
77. Man,
how many of those games did he not make a single 3? Whatever you're guessing, the number's not high enough.
I was going to say 25.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy. It was 21.
That's not crazy. I was 4 off. Come on.
I'm saying like that's pretty high. You guess Desmond Bane. He played 69 games. Nice.
4.
8.
Yeah.
So like
a difference of 12, but with 20 fewer games played.
Let's all relax. And okay, now let's do another exercise.
All right.
How many games did Contavious Caldwell-Pope have last year where he made more than 3 threes?
I did this exercise, not 3 threes, but I did the 60% exercise where he went at least 3 of 5. And what did I tell you? He only did that like 7 times. I should back up. He shot 60%, something like that. But I don't know exactly 3 threes. I don't remember that.
Only 5 games he hit more than 3 threes last year.
5 games, okay.
Desmond, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 3 times as many.
With 20 fewer games played. Well, it's not 20, sorry, 10. 10 or 12,
8.
something like that.
8
Oh, you're right, 77, 69. Yeah.
So a third of the games where he didn't have any threes, and 3 times as many threes as he had at least 4.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Freezing cold take us in 6 months if it's not true, but
yeah,
right now all of the evidence is telling us that it's going to be different, and that the Magic are not cursed.
No,
regardless of how any of us feel about that, because sometimes it does feel like we are.
Yeah, But hey, the whole team shot average over preseason, which is a big improvement. Like you said, 35. What did you say? 35% for preseason. So
35. I think it was
30.
almost 36.
Regardless,
it was 35.9, almost 36%.
That's a 5-point improvement. What were we like 31% last year? So that's great. That's great. I'm not worried about it. It's going to be great. And yeah, I can't wait.
Now this number is kind of rough when you look at it.
What?
In preseason, Desmond Bain shot 11%.
Yes, he
from
did.
3.
One of 9, I think it was.
When you look at that, it's not good.
Yeah.
But so Jace Richardson, 61%.
Yeah.
Wendell Carter, 57%.
Wow.
Jet Howard, 50%. Anthony Black, 42.9%. Tristan Da Silva, 40%. Franz, 36.4%. Tyus, 33%. He's going to shoot better than 33%.
Yeah.
Paolo, 25%. He's going to shoot better than 25%.
Yeah.
Goga, 20%. We'll see.
I'd be on the high end. Just kidding.
Noah, 12.5%. I don't really think he's going to see the floor all that much.
No.
And then Desmond Bain, 11.1%. And Jonathan Isaac, 0%. Jonathan Isaac's not going to shoot 0%.
Probably
okay.
not. Yeah.
He's got to figure that out. Like, he has to be league average for this offense to be as good as it can be. But seriously, there is going to be a point in either December or January where this team is healthy and really rolling. And there are going to be nights where we go, that's a finals contender. Like, we're going to get on here some nights and be like, maybe this isn't every night, but when the team looks like they did tonight against that opponent, that's where you could see this team making a run at the finals.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of fun because those are conversations that have never happened in the history of this show. And I'm really looking forward to that.
That's true. That's true. You know what conversation has had in the history of the show? That was good English. What conversation we have had in the history of the show? Remember last year, Jonathan, when we got Luke to give us some over-unders? You remember that?
I do, as a matter of fact.
I asked him to give us some new ones. And so Luke Sylvia, longtime friend of the show, former co-host of the show, gave us some over-unders. That's right. Gave us some over-unders for this season that you and I can go through and pick over-under. Just random stats, random little tidbits. But I like him. Do you think we should go through those now? Is that cool?
Let's do it.
All right. The first one I think is very good. It's a very good number. He asked Paolo and Franz total points per game over under 49.9 points per game combined. Last season was 50.1. So very much in line with last season, but this year 49.9 Paolo and Franz total points per game over or under, Jonathan.
Okay, so I was thinking about this today. I think it was either our last episode or the one before where I was saying like, oh, Desmond probably isn't going to put up the same numbers he put in Memphis. And we might even see like a little bit of regression in points per game from Paolo and Franz just because, there are more mouths to feed, that kind of thing. You know how many points per game we scored in the regular season last year, Kevin?
105
points per game.
105. Okay.
We scored 126 per game in this preseason. So I don't think that is going to continue, but the last time that we spoke, I don't really think I was accounting for how much better the offense is going to be. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over 49.9 and say that together they average at least 50 points per game.
Okay. I'm just curious. Have you thought about in your head what the breakdown would be? Like between those two? Like if they average 50, who's averaging what? Have you thought about that?
I would say like Paolo 26, Franz 24-ish.
Okay.
Like somewhere around there.
Very close to each other. Yeah. Okay. I voted under. My thinking behind that was, number one, I am subscribed to the more mouths to feed, the Desmond Bain effect. Because, where you say last year we averaged 105 points, this year preseason we did 126. I raise you with last year we had KCP, this year we have Desmond Bain. And so, in the starting lineup at least. And so I think that could be a factor. I also factor in those guys had those numbers last season when they also were the lone source of offense for large stretches of the season each. Like Franz, when Paolo was out, I feel like his numbers were inflated because He was the guy while Paolo was out, and then Franz goes out, Paolo comes back. He was the guy. I don't know. All those things combined, I'm going to go under the 49.9, but I think it's going to be really close.
I will raise you. Think of how much easier it will be this year for those guys. Hopefully.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I think that's valid. But again, I think it's going to be very close, but I'm going to go just under the 49.9.
Next, we have Paolo 40-point games. This is set at 6.5. Last season, he had 4.
Right.
Thoughts?
This one's tough because he had 4, but he played in 2/3 of a season, you know?
Correct.
But again, if I'm subscribed to the theory that there's more mouths to feed and the wealth is going to be spread a little more, do I see him getting 7 of those this season? I'm going to go under again, but only by 1. I'm going to say he's going to end up with 6 40-point games, but it's not because Paolo's not going to play well this year. It's just because he's not going to have to score 40 points more than 6 times. That's my prediction.
I'm going to go over. I think we're going to see the best version of Paolo Banchero that we've seen to this point. I think he still has something to prove, even though he's been an all-star, got the max extension. I think he is not going to be satisfied with anything less than making an all-NBA team this year, which will kick in the 30% portion of the cap for him moving forward. And winning, at least a playoff series or 2. I think we are going to see Paolo Banchero on a mission, the likes of which we have not seen yet in his career. So I'm going to go over because 1, he's just going to be more available, knock on wood, and 2, I think we're just going to see the best Paolo that we've seen yet.
Love that. Next one he's got here is Jalen Suggs stocks. Last year was 2.4. By the way, stocks are steals and blocks combined. Last year, Jalen was at 2.4. Luke has set this over under at 1.9. Over under 1.9 Jalen Suggs stocks.
I'm going to go something that's never been done before on this show.
Oh, here we go. Dude, I freaking did it.
No.
Yeah.
Kevin did call a push last year and was correct.
I sure did. By golly, I did. That's one of my greatest accomplishments of my life.
I'm going over. This is for me, this is a very easy, obvious over for Jalen.
Yeah, I'm 100% there. If he did 2.4 last year, that's a significant drop if he goes down to 1.9. So I'm going to go over as well. This is your turn. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to step on your toes.
No, regular season games played by Jace and Penda combined. Luke has set it at 39.5.
Bro, over. Absolutely over. Here's how I came to that conclusion.
Garbage time.
Exactly. Yeah. That means you're telling me the number's 39.5. That means all there needs to be is 20 games this season that are blowouts, one way or another. That's, again, assuming you think Jace or Noah aren't in the rotation. Let's say they only play garbage time. There's going to be 20 games of garbage time at least this year. So I'm absolutely saying over. I think there could be a world in which Jace touches that number by himself. I think that's a real possibility. Yeah, you heard me. Absolutely.
That's spicy.
Yeah. Hey, it's an 82-game season. You think he can't play in 41 of those? I think it's possible. But yeah, I'm absolutely, as they would say, smashing the over.
Yeah, I think especially if there is any kind of injury, like I think if there's an injury to a guard, Jay sees the floor. If there's an injury to a big or a forward, I think Noah sees the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely an over.
Yeah. All right, next we have, this is a good one. Tristan da Silva, points per game. Last season, he averaged 7.2 points per game. Luke has set this at 8.5. So over under 8.5 points per game for Tristan da Silva.
You could put this at 9.5, and I would say the over.
Attaboy.
I think Tristan averages 10 to 11 points per game this year.
Yep, I'm with you. I think this is a big Tristan year. I'm Tristan stock very much bought. I'm absolutely going over as well.
This next one here, how many minutes will Jonathan Isaac average? Luke has set the over-under at 15.5. Last season, he played 15.4. And in the preseason, he played 13.4. Yep.
Yes, but remember the Philadelphia game, he didn't come in until the fourth quarter. He was pretty much almost basically rested, only played 8 minutes in that game. But last season, as we just alluded to, I wanted to go. I went right on the nose. 2.4 push for Jalen Suggs. I want to bring it back, and this time I'm going to push it with Jonathan Isaac. I'm going to say he averages exactly 15.5 minutes per game this season, which is going to be a shock for some people. But again, it's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it. And so I'm sticking with my 15.5 minutes per game for Jonathan Isaac.
I'm going with the heart pick here.
Yeah.
I'm going over.
I knew
if this was set at 16, I might say under. I think he plays 16 minutes a game. That's what we need out of JI.
Yeah,
would love 20.
Do.
Would love 20, especially if he looks the way that he did Thursday versus New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like the 6 of 7. That was mostly him just kind of like being in the right spots and like knocking down a couple of, nice. He had like one turnaround there, I remember for sure. But defensively was just so good. Like blocking shots, altering shots, like staying in front of guys. Like there was one possession where he got switched on to Jeremiah Fears, who really, really quick guard. Like in person, I was like, that dude is super fast. So anyways, hopefully, all right, next be over there for JI.
Yeah, sorry. Next up, we have Desmond Bane's 3-point percentage. Last season, he averaged 39.2% from 3. Lucas set this over under at 37.5%. Over under 37.5% for Desmond Bane from 3.
It has to be over. It just has to be. It has to be over.
Wow.
It has to be. Like, nothing else is acceptable.
Okay.
For what you gave up for him, for what he's been able to do in his career, what we expect out of him. Kevin, he's quite literally never shot below 38% from 3.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
38.1 2 seasons ago is his career low.
Oh, wow. That might change my answer. That's crazy.
You got to smash the over.
Nah, I'm sticking with it. I'm going under.
You're a sicko.
Yep. But not by much. I think he's going to average 37%. That's what I'm saying. I think there's just
37.4.
37.499% is what I think. No. I know we just talked about this team's not cursed. I think this team is cursed. But I think only just a little bit cursed this year when it comes to Desmond Bane. That's just my prediction. But don't get me wrong. There are going to be plenty of games where he goes off, where he goes crazy, where he has, 6-7 threes per game. Did you like that? Anyway, yeah, I'm going under on that one.
Okay. Teams to have a better offensive rating. Lucas at the over at 15.5. Last season, we were 26th in offensive rating, Kevin.
Over for sure. For sure. I know some people are going to say, look at the preseason. I'm sorry, guys. It's 82 games is a long, long season. I cannot envision us playing the way we did in this preseason for a full 82 game stretch. I just can't. I think at some point it's just going to slow back down. Not that the offense is going to be 26th, but you cannot convince me that we're going to be top. What does that mean? We're going to be top 15 if we go under. Yeah. I can't get there. I think we can be top 20. I can't get to top 15. I'm going with the over.
I'm going over as well. If this line was set at 16.5, I probably would go under. I just have a real tough time believing that we're going to go from 26 to let's say 15th in the course of a off season. And again, this could be a freezing cold take later on. But the Magic being, what did I say? We were 13th in defensive rating in the preseason. That's just not going 15th. Excuse me. No, 13th. I was right. 13th in defensive rating in the preseason. If we're playing at like this up tempo and the Magic are, second in offensive rating or whatever, like they were in preseason, but like the defense is suffering, I think we kind of see the pendulum swing the other way and then slow it down a little bit to make sure that they're sticking true to their identity, because you start saying, oh, we don't need the defense. We're just going to focus on the offense. Then all of a sudden shots aren't falling and now you have no identity anymore.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to go the over as well.
Yep. All right. The reverse of that, teams to have a better defensive rating. Last season, only one team had a better defensive rating because the team was second in defensive rating. And Luke has set it for this season at 1.5. So over under 1.5 teams to have a better defensive rating.
I'm going to go over just because it's hard to be like 2 straight years we're going to be a top 2 defensive team in the league. And as we talked about a moment ago, I do think there is going to be a little bit of a trade-off. Offense is going to be significantly better. The defense might take a little bit of a hit. But again, this team should be no lower than 5. Like if you're 6th, it's unacceptable. This team should be a top 5 defensive team in the league.
Yeah, I'm also going over. Same thing. I think the offense is going to cost the defense. It's just the way it goes when you're talking about doing the kind of pace that we're talking about. So I'm going to go over as well.
Okay, Magic players to be featured in All-Star Weekend. So this is the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, the Rising Stars,
The All-Star game.
All-Star game, all
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Lucas had the over-under at 5.5. Last year it was 3 with Anthony Black, Tristan Da Silva, Mac McClung. Kev, what do you think?
Under. Here's why. If you're going over, that means you think at least 6, right? Let's say best, like in my mind, this is the best case scenario. Jace Richardson and Tristan play in the rookie sophomore game, which isn't called that. Rising Stars, what it's called. Paolo and Franz make an all-star game. That's 4. Desmond Bain does a 3-point contest. That's 5. Find me a 6th. What are you saying? Desmond Bain's an all-star maybe? Or are you saying we have, who's going to be in the dunk contest? Do we have any dunkers right now? Probably not. I can't even find a 6th without saying Desmond Bain's an all-star, and I don't think he's going to be. So I'm doing under. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a way you can find 6 that I'm missing?
No. Unless, the Magic are the number 1 seed in the East and they get like the Atlanta Hawks treatment,
Right.
where Paolo, Franz, Jalen, and Desmond are, hey, even Wendell maybe at that point. I don't know. Like if the Magic have like 5 losses at the All-Star break, maybe the whole starting 5 gets in. I really don't know. I'm going to go under just because, I mean, Tristan has already been there. Maybe we see him there again. You and I are both talking about we expect a big season out of Tristan. We expect to kind of see a leap from him there. But I just don't think, at least early on in the season, Jace is going to see enough time for the 25th pick in the draft to make the Rising Stars game. Like, even if his numbers are good, we've seen bias with this before with bigger markets, but also like your draft position matters with this kind of stuff. So now if somebody goes down and like Jace gets regular minutes within the first month of the season and like plays consistently and just kind of fights his way and gets a spot for himself in the rotation, that could be different. But yeah, I have a tough time getting even 2-5. If it was like, talking 3.5, 4, then yes, because Paolo and Franz will be all-stars this year. But for me, I'm going to go under here.
Yep, same. All right, next up is a Wendell Carter one. We have Wendell Carter Jr. double-doubles. Last year, he had 10 double-doubles. And he played in, I just had it and I lost it. Last year, he played in, he played in several games last year. There it is, 68 games last year. He played in 68 games last year and had 10 double-doubles. Lucas set this at 14.5, over under 15, or 14.5, double-doubles for Wendell.
And he averaged 14.7 rebounds in 19 minutes a game in the preseason. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, me too. That's where I am. I'm over. And there's a world in which it might be like decently over. Like last year, Wendell had 18 games with double-digit rebounds. And I think this year he could be double-digit points in most games. And so I think there's a world in which, he's definitely over and could be as many as 20. Honestly, I think it's possible.
Next one here. How many times will the Magic score 120 plus points? Luke has the over-under at 19.5. Last season, they achieved that 10 times. The season before that, it was 14. 20 times to score over 120 points. What do you think?
I'm under. Again, it's hard for me to envision the team doing double better, if that sentence makes sense, than last year. Like you said, 10 last year. Do we jump to 20 the very next year? It's possible, I guess. And again, everyone's going to point to preseason, I know, but it's a long season. I don't know. I think it could be close. I really do, but I'm going to go under just because it's hard for my brain to imagine that.
So the thing is, they scored 119 points 4 times, 118 once, 116 3 times. So
okay, that's still 8. Yeah, so that's 8 of them. That still doesn't get you to 10. You know?
No, but I'm just saying, like last year, you're pretty close.
I know.
And we're talking about guys across the board all being way worse. If you were, going to ask like their average points per game, I don't know about the average jumping up a ton, but I do think they have the ability to just be more explosive.
Sure.
And like the games where the offense is really clicking, like just kind of, goes up a bit. So for the sake of nothing else other than picking something different than you, I'm going to go the over here. But I genuinely do think they can get there. I agree with you. It will be tough, but I think they can get there.
Nice. Oh, is that me? Sorry. Okay. 2 more to go. Teams to finish ahead in the East standings. So last season, of course, the Magic finished 6th. Is that right? No, they finished 7th. This stat is flawed here. Anyway, last season, no, he's right. Teams to finish ahead. There were 6 teams ahead. I apologize, Luke. He's going to absolutely roast me in the text.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
You're getting cooked.
Why did
you
I
might
do
even
that?
get a Sora made about you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I will. All right, focus. He has the over under at 2.5. So he's saying 2.5 teams will be better than the Magic, aka basically. Oh, look at that smirk. I'm not even going to say anything else. What is it, Jonathan? What is it?
We're going under, baby. Because the Magic are going to be the 2nd seed in the East, if not the 1st.
Wow.
This is our year. This is a pure heart thing. Yep. Like we deserve to be better than the Cavs and or the Knicks.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. I'm going under as well, but not for the same reason. Because under 2.5 means 2 teams are better. Then there can be 2 teams better. I'm going under because I see the Magic as the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. So that means Knicks and Cavs ahead of the Magic, or some other mysterious random team. But I'm going to go under. I have the Magic as the 3 seed. Jonathan, you're up for the last one.
It's kind of like a weird thing to like do a
very weird
of.
Yeah, very weird, but I get it.
Anyways, okay. Last one here, playoff games 1. To me, this was the most wild one out of all the ones that I read. I read this and I was like, good grief.
Luke, this is wild, brother. This is wild.
Luke has the over-under at 9.5.
9.5,
which would have the Magic
games.
Making
playoff wins,
the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. 9.5 as the line for playoff games 1 is pretty wild, Luke. I'm just going to be honest with you. I am going under. I would love to see this team in the Eastern Conference Finals. But if I'm a betting man, I cannot do that. I cannot put money that direction. I'm going under, and I'm not even thinking twice about it. I'm sorry.
If this number is at 6.5.
Yeah. 6.5. 6.5
you're winning a playoff series, and you're taking a second round series to 6 or 7.
Right. Well, no, 6.5 would. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, no, wins. Playoff wins. That means, yeah, you're taking him to 7. Yeah. Because it would be 4 plus 3. Yeah. I would still probably go under. I'd probably go under. Yeah. If it was 5.5, I'd say over. 6.5, I'm going
6.5, I'm taking the over. 9.5, I'm taking the under. That's just me be like, yeah, I'm going to take the over, meaning, yeah, this team's making the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I'm betting on that. I think they can.
Sure, of course.
But if you came to me, you're like, hey, like, I need you to put $100 one way or the other on this.
Nope.
I have a tough time being like, yeah, they are. Now, that being said, I think I did put $100 on the Magic to make the Eastern Conference Finals just because I was like, hey, screw it. Like,
attaboy.
Whatever.
Wild.
So maybe I am taking the over. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is hard to be like, hey, this team is definitely going to go from not winning a playoff series to winning 2 playoff series.
Yeah.
And also winning a game or 2 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. Yep. Well, big shout out to Luke. This was nice. Second annual Luke gives Jonathan and Kevin over-unders for the Magic season episode. That was good. But it is fun because we revisit them in the summer when Luke comes back on the show. If he comes back on the show, we'll see. And then it's fun to revisit them. But yeah, thanks to Luke for putting those together.
Absolutely. Okay, Kevin. Last episode before the regular season starts, we went over our win-loss predictions back in August when the schedule dropped. This is going to be our last official predictions before we get underway here in the regular season. What, if anything, has changed for you since we went through and gave our predictions in August when the schedule came out?
Absolutely nothing. I'm sticking with my gut. When the schedule came out, I just instinctively just went, we went through the schedule, win, loss. And I found my number and I felt pretty comfortable with that number. Because, and I'll say, I think it's on the low end of what's possible. So my number back in August was 52 wins. And I'm sticking with that. But again, I think that's the low end of what's possible. I would be more likely to pick 57 wins than I would 47 wins. Like if you want to go plus or minus 5 off of my number of 52, I would pick 57 before I'd pick 47. So I do feel very confident in this team. I'm going to go 52 wins. It's hard for me to imagine this team who won 47 games 2 seasons ago with all the different things that have improved on this team since then. Hard for me to imagine a team doing worse than that. So I'm sticking with my number of 52.
So Jalen Suggs likely not being ready for opening night doesn't change the way that you feel about this team.
It doesn't.
How and why?
How and why? Because I think this team is good enough without him to do that. I think the schedule at the beginning of the season, there's a couple tough games, but outside of that, it's a very helpful schedule. Obviously, it depends on when he comes back. Like, as long as he's back by November 7th, which, I guess that's not that far into the regular season. That's, that's a little over 2 weeks in, I guess. If he's definitely back by then, I'm feeling great. If he's not, I don't know. We'll see. But I just feel that confident in this team, the start of the season, the schedule. Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
All right. When we went through this in August, my first pass through, I think I said 59 or 60 wins, and then I went through it again and I got to 57. There are a couple of things that we saw in preseason that I didn't love. Not, again, that we're going to draw any sweeping season-long conclusions from preseason, but there are a couple of things that I'm not as excited about at this point in time as I thought I would be when we arrived here, when we went through the schedule, and even really before training camp and the preseason started. Now, we could get 4 or 5 games into the regular season, and I could go, oh, all of that stuff didn't mean anything at all, and we're getting exactly what we thought we were getting. But all I can go off of right now is the evidence that we have and the performances that we saw in preseason. Add that to the fact that Jalen Suggs is not going to be back, or it doesn't seem like he's going to be back opening night. And we don't really know what version of Jalen Suggs we're going to get. We have not seen him at all. I've come a little bit lower than my 57, but I'm still just a touch above you. I'm at 53 wins. 53 and 29 is where I have the Magic right now. And I also agree with you. If this team wins anything less than 50 games, I don't know that I would call it a failure, but it would definitely feel like they have kind of undersold their expectations for the season.
Yep.
I think this team can win 60, 62 games if everything works out the way that we think it can. That's to me the best case scenario. Yep. This team being the 1 seed essentially in the Eastern Conference. And I know the Thunder just went on a crazy run, but they just won a title. They might kind of pace themselves in the regular season, kind of knowing, hey, we have this extra gear that we can fire up when we get into the postseason. We've seen that from teams before as they kind of mature. Like last year, we saw the Celtics kind of take it a little bit easier in the regular season. We saw the Cleveland Cavaliers kind of go crazy. What was it? 62 or 64 games, whatever they won. Like the Magic could be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. They could be the number one seed in the NBA. Like they could, it's not super likely, but I do think maybe it's simulation 620, but there is, shout out to Dr. Strange, like there is one scenario where this team is just the best team in the league all year long, and we'll see how that kind of takes itself into the postseason. But that's like my final official prediction. I'm going to say 53-29.
Okay. I love it. And again, there's a lot that's possible. I still feel this way. It would take, I would be very surprised if it's worse than those numbers. I really, really would. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty exciting.
All right. Well, we finally officially made it here.
No, you can't. What? There's still one more thing.
What?
The week ahead. Let's go.
Gosh.
We're so
Holy
back.
crap.
I've been waiting this whole episode to do this. If you're new around here, if you're just now joining us, this is your first time with us for the actual basketball. At the end of the month,
I feel like such a casual.
I knew. I've been sitting on this all night. I knew it was going to happen. I'm so excited. So if you're new with us, on the Monday episode of the show, every week we sit down and go through what we call the week ahead. So the games that happen between now and the next Monday's episode, and then we make our prediction on the Magic's record this season or this week. The Magic host the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, respectively. So 3 games this week, Jonathan. What's your prediction? Is it the same as mine?
3-0, baby.
Let's go. I can't wait for my heart to be broken. Yeah, that's cool. That's amazing. Let's go.
3-0.
That's all I got.
Looking forward to that.
3-0.
Okay, folks, we have made it to the regular season. Kev, myself, we will be in attendance on Wednesday. So if you see us, please say hello.
Yeah.
Every season we're at games, and every season we get stories of, hey, I saw you guys. I didn't want to bother you, or I was afraid to come say what's up. Don't let that be the case. Please come say what's up to us. We want to say hello to you. We want to meet you. Christian, who filmed an episode of the Six Fan Show Thursday after the final preseason game. Great video. Go check that out on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen that already. But he will also be outside Kia on Wednesday following this game. So on your way out of Kia while you're on Church Street, be sure to stop by, give your Magic takes, celebrate what will be the first win of the year with us. Looking forward to that. We are back, chat. That is going to do it for this one. For Kevin Tucker, this has been Jonathan Osborne. You all have been listening to the Six Man Show, and we will catch you guys next time. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Sixth Man Show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and Spotify to get new episodes downloaded directly to your phone. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps out the show a lot. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sixth Man Show. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Magic!